Hi, welcome to the Loopy Yarn Corner. In this episode, we're going to cover 4 ways of changing your ball of yarn. Let's say you run out of yarn and you need to join another ball of the same color, or let's say that you are changing colors, but you don't want to do it in a specific stitch. This is how you would do that. And we're going to cover 4 ways. So I'm going to use 2 separate colors just so you can see what I'm doing here. But the first way that we're going to cover is called the magic knot. Now the magic knot's pretty simple. All you do is you're going to wrap this, you're going to take this around here, underneath, and you're going to tie a knot. And you're going to leave it pretty loose for now. That's that end. And then we're going to come over here and we're going to do the same thing. So underneath and tie a knot. Just like that. Now you can tighten those knots up pretty tight. And you're going to pull on the sides of your yarn that aren't cut. And you're gonna bring those knots together and pull pretty tight. And that creates your magic knot. Now you can come with scissors and snip these edges off. And supposedly you can snip them pretty close to the knot. I'm always a little scared that the knot's going to come undone. But this is usually a pretty sturdy knot. So the next one we're going to go over is the Russian join. So the Russian join is going to require a yarn needle. And the way that you start this is first you got to thread your needle. And then you're going to go a good distance down your yarn. And you're going to start to weave your needle in between the plies of your yarn. So there we go. And you're going to just try to get it to where the plies of the yarn are circling around your needle. And you're going to go for a good distance doing this, like an inch or 2. And like I said, it can be complicated to do, and I'm struggling right now. You can also just pick up individual plies and then skip one, and then pick up an individual ply and then skip one to make it a little easier. So we're going to try to do that. So here's this ply right here. I'm going to pick up, I guess, 2, because that's what I got. And then we're going to go pick up the next 2. We're going to pick up the next 2. That'll be good for now. And we're going to pull this over the needle, but you're not going to pull your needle all the way through. You want to leave a hole over here, a circle. Okay, and now we're going to go to our next yarn. And thread that onto the needle. And then we're going to go through this loop that we made. And then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go back into our yarn between the plies. Now, I'm really struggling with this one because the plies are fluffy with this yarn, so it's kind of hard to see where they are. Okay, there we go. Because the plies are so fluffy, I'm going to skip 1, grab 2, skip 2, grab 2, rather than trying to weave it through the middle. And that's not much, but for the purposes of the demonstration, it'll be fine. And we're gonna pull that through. And then you've got your 2 pieces of yarn connected. So then what you wanna do is pull on the cut side until it stops, and then pull on the not cut side to straighten out the yarn, and then do the same thing on the other side. Pull and pull. And there you have your Russian join, and you are clear to cut off your ends. That's not my end, this is my end. There's that. And you can see, I'll show you in a second. You can see that I really didn't do enough on the blue side. I should have gone at least to here, and I did to right there. So that's gonna come undone because I didn't do enough. But generally, that's a very, very sturdy knot, and you just wanna make sure that you weave in your ends enough that it's not gonna come undone. So the next knot we're gonna do is just tying a knot. So you just bring your edges together and you tie a knot. Now this makes a pretty big knot, so I don't typically recommend this method, especially because you can't really cut your edges off with this one. You have to weave them in at the end, or, you know, just hide it as you're working. But it is a method. So the next one we're gonna go over is, I don't really know the name of it, but it's the one that I tend to do most often. And I'm sure it has a name because there are so many knots out there that sailors have invented, and they've given names to all of them, and I'm sure this is one of them, but I don't know what to call it. So, but this is the one that I tend to do. So for this knot, you want to make a bend in your yarn, just like that, with one of your yarns. And then for the next yarn, you want to come under it, and then around the bottom, and then back through. Just like that. And then you're gonna pull it tight. As tight as you can without breaking your yarn. And you're gonna wanna pull on both sides. Now, when you're doing this knot, you wanna make sure that your cut sides of the yarn are on the bottom, and your regular yarn, the yarn that you're gonna end up working with, is on the top. Or both of the working yarns are on the bottom and both of the cut yarns are on the top. It doesn't really matter either way. You just wanna make sure that you don't have one cut yarn down here and one cut yarn down here when you're making the knot, because then it will just pull through. And I'll show you what that looks like. Give me just a second here, and I will show you what it looks like. But here you can cut off the edges pretty close, and if it's a slippery yarn, you might struggle with this knot. So we'll see how mine holds up. All right, we are good. Now I'll show you what it looks like when you do it the other way. So make a loop here, and we're gonna start our loop from down here this time. So we'll go through, and instead of going up, we go down. And this is what you don't wanna do. And then you wrap it around and pull through. So now you have a cut yarn here and a cut end of the yarn here. And you pull tight, and now when you try to tighten it, it's just gonna pull through. Just like that. So that's why you want to make sure that you have one on top and one on the bottom. And there you go. That's 4 ways to connect your yarn when you're running out of it. I hope this video was helpful to you. We're getting very near the end of our How to Crochet Beginner series. So if you've made it through this far, congratulations, you're doing great. The next video, I believe, is going to be about post stitches or raised stitches. I've heard them called both of those things. So I'll see you there when the time comes. But until then, thank you for watching. I hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.